So let's go right now. Actually, we have someone in this studio. Actually, we have someone in this office who we love. Smooth Manny. He's been our Jocko correspondent. Wonderful man. But he does come from an actual socialist country, and
it's unfortunate.
Sometimes I'm pretty conservative, but he goes pretty far to the right, and some would say that it's conspiratorial. But I wanted to give him a place to voice his opinions that are not reflective of my own. So it's time for the truth according to Manny. So, Smooth Manny, you're here to tell us the truth that you think that sometimes I don't necessarily dive in deep enough.
Good morning, Stephen.
Okay. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate you taking the time. Oh no. We were walking by. I think it was Audio Way tonight. And something came up. Someone was discussing. You were talking about. And forgive me, not trigger warning, but warning if you have kids watching. Apparently, this is a real theory that people in power have been engaging in copulation with swine, with pigs. Is something from former Prime Minister Cameron. You were saying this is true. I'm just ignoring the facts.
You're a very busy man. You have a show.
I only have so much time in the day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard for you to keep up with all the news of the entire world.
Yeah.
But it is a known fact. Well, I should say allegedly.
Okay.
An alleged fact.
Yeah.
That people in power do sexual things that might be immoral, illegal, perhaps.
Well, immoral, sure.
Sure, yeah.
But that's a wide swath. That's not what you were talking about.
Sure. Yeah. No, this one in particular involved a pig.
Okay.
But I will.
I immediately don't believe it.
So I'm going to tell you a story. And we're going to dive deep into the situation of the story and why it's totally plausible.
Okay. Well, and I know, is this something that has to do with the Black Mirror? Because that was the first episode.
Right.
And I don't know how anyone stuck with that show after the first episode. I was like, oh, Sex with a Pig, this is the show. Okay, I'm seen enough.
That's the pilot?
That's the pilot. That's them getting stranded on the island.
So tell me what's your show about. Well, here you go.
Yeah.
This is an anthology.
So tell me about this.
So our story begins with Lord Ashcroft.
Okay.
So he is a conservative. Mm-hmm. He worked with David Cameron.
Oh boy, he has overlays. Okay.
And he
brought them in. I don't even know how they're going.
He wrote a book alleging
that
David Cameron did sexual things with a pig at a ritual at a party.
Okay.
At a private
that
festival.
sounds like hearsay. It doesn't sound like there's any proof.
Sure. Then, so the news breaks, and the news is like, oh, so our prime minister, this is overlay number 2.
Okay, well, this is my show.
He stuck his genitals inside a dead pig.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. This was proven?
So David Cameron, he didn't even deny it. He just he did the opposite of what Brian Callen did. He just disappeared.
But some people have done that too with rape accusations. It's a strategy just to disappear. So that doesn't mean that he did it.
No, of course not. It's all alleged. Then a Black Mirror episode comes out, overlay number 3, and the first episode is about a prime minister who has to have sexual relations with a pig in order to save.
Yeah, and that's why I say I know this is a topic that people have. It was spoken about in the office. And then someone asked me online why I was ignoring this pig situation and pointed me to Black Mirror. It's like a big thing. And I said, let's have Manny come on because I don't have enough time. But this is by request. It's not a topic I'm fond of. So Black Mirror, continue. And I still don't believe you.
You're far too busy to watch Black Mirror season 1, 2, and 3 and follow the news.
Right? Yeah. Okay. All right.
So we've set the scene. That's what happened. So
you've set nothing.
Overlay number 4 is David Cameron. So this is about his age when all this was alleged, and this was at a party called it's called the Pierce Gaveston Society. Now here's something funny about this society. It's named after Pierce Gaveston, which was the alleged male lover of the king. And
saying alleged doesn't create evidence, right?
Okay, yeah.
I just want to make sure we're clear.
But I just want to point out that fact that so at this party named after this, if you bring up that overlay again, Pierce Gaveston.
Yeah. Well, we got the name.
I don't know about you, but a secret society club named after the male lover of the king is kind of gay.
Okay.
So-
but that doesn't make one a sex
No,
offender.
no, it doesn't.
Of
it
course,
doesn't.
there's nothing wrong
I'm
with
just
consensual
saying
what they do in their
the
bedroom.
place named after this fella. So now, when we go into this place,
Gentleman.
basically what it is, if you go to the actual Pierce Gaveston Society now, it's just a rich party where the elite, the young elite, go and overlay number 6, they dress like transgender prostitutes.
Okay.
Some could say that.
I think they would just say transvestites. We separate
Transvestites,
because they're not. They don't
that's
identify as another
that's a
gender. It's
great
just a
word.
weird night.
Well, it's a lot of cross-dressing and half-naked people.
Okay, but you
And
just
what-
showed pictures of Victoria's Secret models. I don't see any powerful elites.
Well,
I
these
don't
are
know.
these are just
Those
the
aren't.
elite of Oxford.
Okay,
These are just the ones that we have pictures of.
right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I mean evidence.
Evidence. Right. Okay.
So what do they do there? So before we figure out what they do there,
How do you know any of this, Manny?
oh, you just read the news. I know you're far too busy to read all the news.
Right. Yeah.
With the show.
Yeah.
What
exactly.
news?
Oh, well, I have my sources.
He has
there.
his sources, Bill.
Yeah,
Let's come on.
Yeah.
He's come in here.
I got
There's-
the Guardian. I got all the weird ones that people don't believe, like the Mirror and stuff.
Right, yeah.
New York Times is
Yeah,
plenty
Yahoo
there. You
News.
know,
Oh, New
got
York
Vice
Times.
Complex.
Vice.
Yeah.
Yahoo News.
News that when
You
they're
know.
not supporting your theory, you usually hate.
Yeah.
But yes.
So if you go down to the next overlay, what I would like to present to you is that in order for you
This
to
is like a PowerPoint. This
in
isn't a news source.
in order for you,
need a
to
clicker.
end up somewhere where you might do something sexual with a pig,
Right.
you need basically degeneracy. So you need somewhere where you have access to drugs, sex, and power. And what that equals to is the situation that might have made David Cameron do something with a pig.
Okay.
So let's go to the drugs.
So just
this-
David Cameron, no one else.
well,
Well,
everybody else for sure.
everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
There
come
you
on.
go. There's he just my lifesaver. Get that out of here.
Yeah, hold on.
What are you doing
Manny,
here?
Manny, can I ask you this question?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that that a large percentage of these elites who wield excessive amounts of power and have limitless amount of money are doing these things?
100%.
Yes, and they control the government, right?
It's not they control the government.
But they have power within the government,
well,
right?
yeah, they're like
Yes.
David Cameron.
Yes. Why are you still alive then?
I'm
He
just-
won't be after this program.
it's not.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. We're going to be demonetized. He'll be pushing up daisies.
I mean, look, that's just the question I always have is, you know, if you go to someone and you say, look, they have an excessive amount of money and power,
Yeah.
and you believe that they can do all these things and that they can do all these amazing things and they can cover it all up, then how is it that, you know, a 17-year-old anonymous person on 4chan is like...
Is that something something to do with controlled opposition, Manny?
No, I think it's something to do with the fact that they love boasting about it. So there's nothing secretive about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will explain. So further down we go to. So now that we've established the decadence of going back
It
to
is
history.
confirmed.
It has established.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
established.
if we go to overlay number 8, the first ingredient that you need is a massive amount of drugs.
Right.
So this is
Okay.
an article from Daily Mail about the Pierce Gaveston Society parties. A lot of people disagree with the pig stuff, but they're
Okay.
like, listen, this is just a giant, rave full of
We're just having
all
fun.
sorts of hard
Just having
drugs.
fun.
Yeah.
We're
Sure.
just having a party.
I mean, that's not so far-fetched. You have
That's not so far-fetched, no.
Hoover, right, who like to dress up like a dame.
J. Edgar.
now, if you go to overlay number 9, then
Not
they're
Herbert
like,
and
okay,
not the
so
vacuum guy.
so there's also the drugs, but because of the drugs, there is our second ingredient, which is a lot of sex, public sex. And in the highlighted part there, this girl's talking about some girl drinking some blood and a party of overlookers wearing pig masks.
Well,
So
this
there's
sounds
a-
like
there's a-
some girl talked about some girl with some.
No,
blood.
she was there. She went there.
Well,
she
I
went
know,
to the
but
party.
did she have any evidence?
Well, they take all your phones before you go in.
Okay.
So-
Well, one does.
Yes. But if we keep going down, so now we got the sex and the drugs.
Okay.
Right? Lots of them.
I don't know if
And
we
these
got
are the
it, but
people
sure,
saying,
yeah.
oh, there's no pig stuff. There's just a lot of orgies out in public on hard drugs.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
But what happens? You know what? You might say, well, this is just a coincidence.
Yeah.
But if we go to the next
You
overlay,
would say that.
One might say
Manny,
that, or
you-
one might say that there's a lack of evidence.
I was going to say, Manny, you've never been to public school then, but continue.
You went to school in a strip mall in Columbia. That's not a joke. Oh wait, no, it wasn't.
No, that
Florida.
was here.
That was here. I'm sorry.
Fake
Our
high
schooling
school.
system isn't the best.
Columbia, South Carolina. Okay.
so if we go to the next overlay,
All right.
so this is here in America. This is the Orgy Dome in Burning Man, where all it is hard drugs. And Garrett, could you read that last This
Now,
is
this is something I
Garrett.
don't doubt. Obviously, at Burning Man, and we had these things in Montreal at raves where there's a lot of sex and that kind of. That is a thing.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah,
It's
no
a
one's
normal
doubting
thing.
that that's a thing, and no one's doubting that there are weird societies.
Saying
but
it's connected.
No,
Yeah,
I'm,
the
I'm
connect-
saying it's normal.
it's normal in certain places where people do this kind of stuff. I mean, it goes
Wait,
back
are
to the
you
Buck
saying
Million.
it's normal?
I don't think it's normal. I'm not a depraved bastard. It's definitely normal for people to engage.
Don't
in
brag, man.
Yeah, Manny, listen, let's set the bar a little higher. What you wanted, Quarter Black Eric, to read the
so
what?
if you read that last overlay,
okay.
this is just something that's people are boasting about on the
Oh
internet.
no, I don't want to read
Blanked
that.
a dozen or so.
And I don't want to
women
get Ben
took,
Shapiro'd where these
blank-
are.
Wait,
it's
did
not
you
like I don't want to
Reddit?
say the word
Yeah,
vagina.
this-
It's
these
just
are-
that that's
these are
pretty.
articles,
I mean,
people
that's the
posting
kind of
about
stuff
it.
that you
It
don't
looked
want
like
to read
it was
about.
redacted, so I mean,
Yeah, well, I think it was redacted by someone in our edit bay.
Oh,
So we've established this is normal, right? You're
Well,
not
I
even
do know
surprised
there
by
was
this.
actually no. I'm not surprised by it because there was actually Andrew Breitbart talked about this. Not Kevin Jennings was the Jeopardy guy, but there was something.
Ken Jennings was the
Jennings.
Jeopardy
Ken-
guy.
so
yeah.
maybe it was Kevin Jennings. Maybe Tokenawan can bring this up. There was a guy, I think maybe it might have been Kevin Jennings, who did actually teach, and again, warning for people who are out there, that you can find this on the old Breitbart site back when it was Big Hollywood, who taught who spoke about these kinds of sex acts to kids in school, namely something that involved a closed fist.
yes.
And this was something that was recorded. You can listen to the audio. And I remember people were really outraged. And some people said, well, this is just about advocating safe sex practices, saying, don't do
A
that.
fist is safe? No,
Yeah, I don't. It's not necessarily safe. It's it depends. It's it's the black power symbol now, so it can mean a lot
how
of
it
things. It could be
works.
Joe Louis when you enter Detroit.
Okay.
Or it could be power. It could be the Communist Revolutionary Workers Fist, or it could be it's all of the
okay.
above.
Yeah.
And that was a thing. Go Google Breitbart. I think it was it Jennings? Kevin Jennings? Kevin Jennings. Yeah, that was the story. I
Jennings.
remember being shocked, and I didn't think was true. Now, this isn't some secret society, but I was surprised that this was being taught to kids in school, and it was. Okay, continue and let's wrap
Back
this
to
up.
the slide deck. Yes.
You were correct that it's not a secret society. That's just normal.
That's
places
sex
in the world that
education.
People do that.
Yeah.
So what's missing in this ingredient? Because we got the parties, we got the Burning Man. Okay,
No, what's
sure.
missing in the pie? It's a missing ingredient in the pie, not missing in the ingredient. It's only one ingredient, but many ingredients make it. You know what? Continue with your thing.
So the factor that's
Semantics.
missing, and you might just be like, well, these are just kids at a party. It's power. So if you go to our next overlay, you will see that actually this happens in Silicon Valley all the time to the tech giants. Eat, drugs, sex, repeat. They have orgies that last days. They do acid. They do
Nerd
Molly, and
orgies.
This is just.
I do know about the
be
ayahuasca.
good.
I'm
but
very
I don't-
disturbed.
You're what?
Do you read Vanity Fair? That was the site.
How else are you
that
going to
was
know
the
about
site.
the ayahuasca swine sex fests?
You're conflicting your drugs here, but
Okay, I apologize.
But again, so these are high people that live in Palo Alto, Mountain View. They work in
Right.
Silicon Valley. This isn't just people at the desert doing
Right.
whatever people at the desert might do, right? So what happens
But
when
you do know
have,
people from Silicon Valley go to Burning Man, right?
Oh yeah, of course. They have their own private places where they don't have to go to the orgy dome tent.
Yeah, they got their own.
they
orgy
are
dome.
a walking orgy dome.
Not with the peasants.
Yeah, exactly. Like please.
We're at the Orgy Sky Lounge. High above.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey has his orgy passport. He
Yeah,
skips to the front of the line like Disney World.
He gets the punch card.
Global entry.
6 orgies, 7 ones free.
So when you have ton of drugs, ton of sex, and power, what you end up with is a perfect recipe for blackmail. And Kubrick talked about this in his last film, Eyes
Last
Wide
film.
Shut,
That wasn't his last film, was it?
which it was
his last
film.
film.
He died
He didn't even
before
finish
he
the whole
before
thing.
he even
that's
finished it.
kind of a swan song.
Well, it was Eyes Wide Shut is basically Kubrick's suicide note, just begging to be taken out. So, and Steven, you're
Allegedly.
way too busy to actually go into the details
Yeah,
of Eyes Wide
that's
Shut. We
correct.
can
That's
dissect
the
the
reason I'm not
symbolism
buying
and
it.
the locations and the shots. And
We don't
who,
have
what,
the
when,
time
where.
to go.
Yeah,
through
we don't
the
have
whole
the
thing.
time.
It's a
Definitely
lot
don't
of-
have
Give
the
me
time
the
for that.
wrap up, what you
I
actually
thought
think
this
is
was
going
the
on.
truth from according to
It's the
Manny.
truth according to Manny. Yeah,
Not-
you're right.
Not beat around the bush according
Actually,
to Manny.
this reminds me. I would like to tell everybody to join Mug Club. The only reason why we do any of this
Yeah.
is because of Mug Club.
Well,
So
this has
thank
nothing
you
to do with
guys for
Mug Club. I
Any
want to be
of
clear.
this, I don't
no,
know,
this was Manny's own idea.
Oh, we have a lower third.
Yeah, I mean,
This is.
That's
did
not
he
even
do?
me. He brought it in.
What
I
is
didn't
it?
know what it was.
Oh,
Lower
wow.
of color.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just make sure the GIF includes this. All right, Manny. Thanks for doing this to me.
Well, I will wrap this up
Please.
in a nice little bow. So now that we go to our next overlay, we got the ingredients of blackmail. Why do people do bizarre things? They do it because of blackmail. So in the Nexium case, which also
What?
happened here
that's
in
a true
America.
That's not necessarily true. One time
It's
I dropped my
definitely true.
pants and jumped into my pool because Betty was chasing a bullfrog and I thought she was going to drown. That's bizarre, but she wasn't blackmailing me.
Yeah, but you weren't branding yourself in a sex trafficking cult like in the Nexium case.
Okay.
He got you there.
You know, or I mean, if you just think
Touche.
Jeffrey Epstein had a vast trove of photos in the safe, and it was just like his scrapbook.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of missing the blackmail.
I'm going to say I can't
hobby.
dismiss all of this entirely because Epstein was a real person. And that's one of those things where we all go, I don't know, Epstein.
Think about
If
it.
you
But-
bring up the last over the Nexium case, we have court documents that clearly establish guilty pleas on sex trafficking, violence, psychological abuse, and the ladies there are Hollywood stars who branded themselves as the images show, and they did it because of blackmail, because they had things on them.
But I don't know. What does this have to do with pigs?
What does this have to do with pigs? I love that you asked. So before we summarize, I would like
He's
for
playing
you,
10D chess.
I would like
okay.
for you to consider our next overlay.
Okay.
You know, in the UK,
Is this the last one?
This is before the last.
Okay.
You know, Seville, however you say it. You know,
Savile.
Seville.
Yeah, as a Disney character.
You know,
from
he
101
was a
Dalmatians, for
serial
sure.
rapist, that pedophile
Okay.
that attacked at least 500.
I understand,
kids.
okay.
That happened in the UK. That's
Okay.
what David Cameron is.
I think
So
Steven
now
is tiring of
we
this.
go-
That's where David Cameron is. They must be doing it together.
It's not they're doing
Have you
it
run a
together.
pedophile watch
Man,
search in
hold
your
on.
neighborhood?
Hold on, you went from England to Nevada. I think that's where Burning
Exactly,
Man is.
they're
to
everywhere, man.
California.
And it's all the same
Don't you
ingredients.
get it?
Power.
It's a
sex,
pandemic.
Money. Blackmail. So now we'll finalize.
Yeah.
In our last
Please.
overlay, which someone claimed at one of these gatherings, where there were in
The
a
same as the
similar
first
gathering pig heads on stakes.
Okay.
So if you include the sex, the drugs,
Lord of the
people in
Flies
power,
style.
and the accessibility to a dead pig's head, it's not implausible to think that David Cameron might have done, allegedly,
He had
sexual
access to
things
pig
with
heads.
the dead pig.
All right. This is the truth according to Manny. Get the hell out of here. Let's go. There we go. So now this can move into a nice, earnest close.
Let's get real serious. Real
What was that last thing about the cube?
The
What?
cube of Saturn. I don't
Yeah,
know.
cube of Saturn.
I don't want to.
intrigued.
I don't want to
I'm
do
You
it.
don't have to do it.
No, I don't even. Okay. Cube of Saturn, huh?